Hello and welcome to the Punting Green, brought to you by oddschecker and pricedup.bet. I'm your host, George Alec. I'm delighted to be joined by Ginger Joe as we look ahead, as we always do, to the weekend's golf. We're back on the PGA Tour this time around. It's the CJ Cup Byron Nelson coming to you from TPC Craig Ranch in Texas. How you doing, Joe?
Good, George. I am good. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Pretty decent event for this week, and we're closing in now on the second major of the season. So, yeah, it's time to fire in a few more winners. We were really unlucky last week again. At one point, we had 3 players in the top 4, and we've come out again with no money. I found it really frustrating the last 2 weeks. We even had Zihao Jin, my 250 to 1 shot, and tied second at one point after round 1, and he ended up somehow missing the cut. So that was really frustrating, but we are close, but no cigar in the last couple of weeks. But we're due another turn of good fortune this week, hopefully.
That is the nature, it seems to be, in the DP World Tour, where you look at the leaderboard one day, and you look at it the next day, and the players seem to completely change. It's absolutely insane. So back to the warm embrace of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, good. I track my players, and I scroll down the side and wait to see the star. And there was, like I said, there were 3 right at the top. The next morning, I woke up and I thought, where have they all gone? What's happened? What's been going on? But anyway, we're back. We're back in the winners' enclosure this week, George. I'm feeling it this week.
Fingers crossed. What do you make of this event? And what are the trials and tribulations of TPC Craig Ranch? An event where I think Taylor Pendrith won it last year. We've only had this as the 5th renewal. I think Jason Day in 2023, and then KHD won it at both 21 and 22.
Yeah, interesting event because it's the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. It's a really silly name, to be honest with you. They've sort of combined 2 tournaments since 2021, but it's a pretty decent course at the same time. It's 7,569 yards. It's a par 71. Only 3 par 5s. They play on Zoysia fairways here. Slow, flat greens. This is a straight-up point-and-shoot golf course. Low scores incoming this week, George. I want high birdie rates. I want good approach play, and someone who's pretty good with the flat stick as well. I'm expecting a good 25 under winning score this week. The weather is too. So, yeah, low scores incoming this time, George.
Birdie fest, and unsurprisingly, in that case, the top of the market at a eye-wateringly short price for a PGA Tour event. You've got Scotty Scheffler still looking for his first win on the PGA Tour in 2025. He's 14-5 with priced up. Jordan Spieth 14-1 in his native Texas. Sam Burns 22-1. Sunjai Im 22-1. Benny Arn 25-1. Siwoo Kim 30-1. Last year's winner Taylor Pendrith 30-1. Ben Griffin 35-1, fresh off his win in the Zurich team event last weekend with Andrew Novak. Mackenzie Hughes 35-1. Jake Knapp 40-1. The Jaeger bomb 40-1. Zalatoris 40-1. Those are the top end of the market. Any of those coming into the staking plan?
One of the last players you said there is in my staking plan. There are a couple of players near the top of the market that came under consideration this week. We've been discussing for a few episodes now how Jordan Spieth is going to win an event soon. Well, I know he is highly tipped up this week across the golf platform, if you like, but I think they caught him a week too early. So I'm sidestepping Jordan Spieth this week. Benny Arn was another player that I actually considered, but neither have actually made the squad. My number 1 selection this week, George, is a 100-1 shot. Priced up, what are you doing? 100-1 the selection that's going in this week. So I've got 2 really strong selections, 1 on the middle ground, and then 2 half stakes as well. So I've got a 5-man squad to go to battle with this week.
Great stuff. For put us out of our misery, who is the 100-1 shot you're putting up for the CJ Cup Byron Nelson?
Dangerously overpriced Nico Echavaria, world number 50 at 100-1. Do not understand this at all. Very, very brave of priced up. A 2-time PGA Tour winner. He won the Puerto Rico Open in 2023. He won the Zozo Championship last year. He's done nothing but improve. George, I said this was target golf this week. Well, Nico went to the Masters for his first ever appearance and won the par 3 contest. Dialed in with his irons, and he then also made the cut as well on his first appearance in Augusta. Very accurate approach player. This is proven now over more than one season. He's just improved. And I think Nico Echavaria is possibly the best putter on the planet right now as well. I love his career path. He's gone from sort of like the Colombian Tour to the Corn Ferry, progressed every single season. He's still improving now. He is full of confidence. You want his approach play. You want his putting onside this week. I cannot believe, George, I cannot believe that you can get 100 to 1 on Nico Echavaria this week.
Lovely stuff. 100 to 1. Big, strong selection there from Joe on Nico Echavaria. As you said, was in a really good spot in the Masters for went a long time up towards the top end of the leaderboard before a final day 84, which I think we can forgive him for. But prior to that, looked really strong. And played some okay golf as well last weekend in Zurich too. So it doesn't matter. There's too many scars off the back of it. So 100 to 1 there. Who's next up?
Just as strong a fancy is going to be Stephan Jaeger, world number 47 at 40 to 1 with priced up. This is again another PGA Tour winner. He won the Houston Open last year. Just keeps catching my eye every single event. Really like his game plan this year, and he's been kept busy too. He's made 10 of his 12, made 10 cuts in his 12 events this year. Absolutely nothing flashy about Stephan Jaeger at all, but he's taken the change to the PGA Tour in his stride. Very, very consistent from tee to green with 4 top 20 finishes this year, which include 2 top 10s, tied 6th and tied 7th. For me, probably again, one of the best putters on tour. Big, flat, slow greens this year. You need a really solid putter this week. He's actually scored well this year as well. Plenty of low rounds in there. He shot a 62 at the Sony Open. Loads of 64s and 65 since. You need a player that can score low. He should relish this sort of golf course as well. 2023 finished tied 11th here. Last year he finished tied 20th when he wasn't playing his best golf. Completely different character this year. 40 to 1 for Stephan Jaeger. Another very much overpriced selection by Priced Up for this week.
Great stuff, yeah. Stephan Jaeger, 40 to 1, and priced up a quarter of the 5 in terms of each way terms as well. So they're the main 2, or have you got one more who's a single point?
No, they are the main 2 selections. I've doubled my points for the each way money on both of these selections for this week. But if you want selection number 3, it's time to take a bite of the Tosti. Alejandro Tosti at 80 to 1, George, for this week. World number 125. Keeps finding himself at the right end of the leaderboard. Never really followed him too much as well up until this season, but he's just a really impressive golfer. He's played really well at low-scoring golf courses. He's played well at difficult golf courses. And at both of these sorts of golf courses, he's making plenty of shots gained with his approach play. And his putting, again, has been absolutely superb this season too. 3 top 10s already. He comes into this as well after finishing second at the Punta Cana last week, where he shot around 4 round of 24 under par. I think Tosti is about to break his maiden.
Yeah, Alejandro Tosti, 80 to 1 there. The third selection for Joe. A player who, as you say, always seems to be overpriced in my mind, and certainly on this kind of golf tours where the onus is going to be finding birdies, he seems a good way to go. 2 more.
So these are half-stake selections now because I was umming and ahhing whether to add them into the squad, but I don't want to miss out. I'd be gutted if they did. The first one is Rico Hoey at 70 to 1 with Priced Up. Really inconsistent player, actually. Only made 6 of his 12 cuts, but on his A game, he fits this golf course really well. Superb off the tee, 5th on tour in greens and regulation, 10th in proximity to the hole. Absolutely has the game to win this. Why he hasn't probably won just yet is that his putting has been incredibly poor. I'm not going to hide from the fact that his putting is very much below average. However, as mentioned, we've got slow, flat greens this week, so surely he can putt better on these. 2 top 15s in his last 4 events. The course should suit him from tee to green. It's just a case of whether he putts well enough. But again, at a course like this where it's target golf, flat, slow greens, he's not going to need to be too flashy. So I think the 70 to 1 this week becomes quite a fair price for Rico Hoey.
Rico Hoey, 70 to 1, the 4th selection there for Joe. And who's the 5th and final?
The final selection is Justin Lower, 110 to 1. Target golf specialist, tied 3rd in the American Express at 22 under par, tied 8th in the Zurich at 24 under par. No win to his name just yet for the 36-year-old, but he is a player that scores really low scores. Justin Lower does go low at these sort of golf courses as well. Really solid short game. There's everything in his game to suggest that he can go and win an event like this. He's not going to be very popular either, which is sort of part of the reason why I've added him into my squad. The 110 to 1 probably underestimates his true ability, and he's sure to make a win on the PGA Tour sooner or later, and it will come at a low-scoring event like this. He's coming into this in good form. Now could be the time for Justin Lower to go lower once more.
Justin Lower, 110 to 1. You got the Tosti, Lower. I'm surprised there aren't more puns in there. And the Jaeger bomb from earlier too. So there we have it. The 5 selections for Joe ahead of this weekend's PGA Tour event out in Texas. Nico, Echavaria is the 100 to 1 headline selection alongside Stephen Jaeger at 40 to 1. Alejandro Tosti makes up the 1 point each way selections at 80 to 1 and half-point selections on Rico, Hoey and Justin Lower. Now, last time you had a PGA Tour event, you nailed 1-7 to 1 sub-market and nearly put up a big price double. Anything for us this weekend?
Yes, indeed. We've got 2 bets from the sub-markets this week, and they are the same player, that landed us the 7 to 1. It's Cam Davis. So I fancy him for a top 10 finish this week. Now, he, again, like Justin Lower and Rico Hoey, very close to making my squad, but Cam Davis just didn't make it into the final lineup. But he is a birdie machine. He's 4th highest birdie percentage on tour. It's his driving that lets him down, though, George. He's awful off the tee. It's really been a struggle. But he can afford to be a little bit wayward this week. So I thought rather than adding him into my squad, we can get 8 to 1 for a top 10 finish about this birdie machine, this putting monster. I think he's a pretty good piece of value at 8 to 1. For that reason, not only are we going to back him for the top 10 market, but we're going to back him at 80 to 1 to be the first round leader as well. He can start fast, no doubt about it. Loads of birdies, really good short game. He can afford to spray a little bit off the tee, so I'm not concerned about that this week. And I didn't want to miss out on Cam Davis completely. He won at 7 to 1 for us in a previous episode, but this week, 8 to 1 for a top 10 finish and 80 to 1 for a first round leader. I think we've got to take advantage of that. He's another one that I'd be devastated if he was sort of there or thereabouts and we didn't manage to gain anything from him. And we can afford to have another go from him because we're effectively on profit from this one player. So Cam Davis in the sub-markets this week.
Great, Cam Davis, 8 to 1, top 10 finish and 80 to 1. First round leader there, as Joe says. And also an extra place for the first round leader market as well, from priced up. There's 6 places, so 5th to 6th, if you want to go about it that way. There we go. So the squad, Echavaria, Jaeger, Tosti, Hoey and Lauer. Davis top 10 and Davis first round leader. Make sure you check out priceup.bet if you haven't already for all of these selections and plenty more across sports too. If you click on the price boosts page, there's loads of price boosts across sport every single day as well. Looking at it now, you've got boosts in the racing at Punchestown Festival starting today on the Tuesday. In every race, they're boosting out prices. Ballyburn at 6 to 4, for example. Kopeck de Boer, they're boosted to top price, so make sure you check those out. Football, the Arsenal PSG game tonight, they're pushing stuff out, such as Declan Rice to have 1 shot on target at 2 to 1. Presumably just needs a free kick for that to happen, and other bits and bobs. So make sure you check out Priced Up for those boosts up on site as we speak. And we'll be back again next week, Joe, to look ahead to the weekend's event there. But fingers crossed for the squad this time around. Thank you for taking the time to watch this show. Back again next week. Check out priceup.bet in the meantime, and please ensure that you're gambling responsibly.